In the previous session, we have seen some of the losses, the types of which the mechanisms which causes attenuation. There were material absorption losses. Okay, there were three different losses which we have come across in material absorption. That is, one is due to the atomic defects. Let me just quickly show you the slide. One is due to the atomic defect, absorption due to the atomic defects. Then the second one, we went across the intrinsic absorption, which is found in the pure silica glass. There are two types here, UV absorption and IR infrared absorption. One is electronic absorption, the other one is atomic absorption. Then next one we have seen is the extrinsic absorption, which is actually due to the addition of the impurities. There are two types of commonly known impurities. One is the metallic impurities, which are found in the glasses. They'll be dissolved. Okay, and these metallic impurities are what? The transition metals, which are found in your periodic table. You can see they're in the ion form. In the ionic form, these impurities are existing. Then one more is the hydroxyl group, that is the water, OH, which is dissolved, which is found dissolved in the glass structure. Because of this, harmonics are formed. So we have seen till this much. Today we are going to look at the linear scattering losses. So basically, when we started with the module 2, we have seen in the attenuation, there are many different mechanisms which causes attenuation. So we have seen the material absorption. Now we are looking at the linear scattering losses. Okay, so here there is a question. You can see it. Why the sky is blue? That question I have raised. This is because of the scattering effect. Okay, because the rays gets scattered in the atmosphere. It gets scattered throughout the atmosphere, hits the molecules that are present in the atmosphere. Due to the scattering effect, the sky looks like a light blue in color to you all. So linear scattering losses. So linear, well, first of all, we should understand what do you mean by linear. So this is a very known term to you, linear and non-linear to you. The variations are linear in nature, non-linear in nature. Here, when we associate the term linear with the scattering, it means, you can see, no change in the frequency of scattering. So even though, the light propagates, it gets scattered. Even though it is scattered, there is no change in the frequency upon scattering. So that's why it is called a linear. One more comes the non-linear. We will see what happens there. But here you understand that there is no change in the frequency upon scattering. That's why it is called a linear scattering. So linear scattering mechanisms, what happens here is there is a transfer of the optical power. Obviously, loss means what? There's some amount of power gets lost. That is transferred here. That is transfer here. Where it is actually, it is when a light wave. This is your optical fiber. When the light wave is propagating inside through a mode, and into a particular mode with some particular field. Okay, field distribution. So the wave is propagating inside the optical fiber. So within that, this type of scattering loss occurs when the optical power contained in whenever a light is propagating in one mode, it is transferred linearly to a different mode. So whenever the mode changes, so to different modes, from one mode to the other mode, the power gets transferred. Okay, no doubt. If it is a guided mode, like say you have seen single mode and multi-mode, so there is no harm if the power gets transferred from one mode to the other mode, because in multi-modes, you know how the rays travel, right? Like this or like this, whatever, inside the guided mode. Okay, inside this core, if multi-mode, in a multi-mode fiber, if the wave propagates, nothing harm. So under guided mode, there is no change, no harm. But if this power transfer is to some other mode, what we call in optical fibers as leaky mode, where power is lost, or the radiation mode, where the power gets radiated through the cladding. You have seen the acceptance angle, whenever the cone, the angle, it is not within that premises theta c, what will happen, the whatever the ray enters the optical fiber, it won't undergo total internal reflection. It will simply enter into the cladding and it will get lost. So the power transfer is, it won't cause harm if it is under guided mode. But if the power transfer from one mode to the other mode, if that is to a leaky mode or a radiation mode, then that will not continue to propagate within the fiber core. Okay, ये जो leaky mode है या फिर radiation mode है, these are unwanted things which will cause the attenuation, a loss of power. बट अदरवाइज अगर गाइडेड मोड को पावर ट्रांसफर होता है तो नॉट एन इशू, इट विल बी प्रोपोगेटेड थ्रू आउट द लेंथ ऑफ द ऑप्टिकल फाइबर एंड इट विल रीच द डेस्टिनेशन. But otherwise, if it is not guided mode, if it is a leaky mode or radiation mode, it will not continue to propagate within the fiber core, but it is radiated from the fiber out, okay, there in the form of a loss. Here I have just click check marked guided mode, yes, no issues. For leaky and radiated, it will discontinue. So basically there are two types of scatterings that are categorized here. One is a Rayleigh scattering, the other one is a Mie scattering, MIE. Okay, so these two types of scattering we will look into in detail. Before that, I have just listed a few points here, last page. Two types of scattering we will look into, under which the first one is Rayleigh scattering. We will look into what is Rayleigh scattering first. Non-uniformities, you know what do you mean by non-uniformities? Okay, the structure is non-uniform in the sense एक sequence maintain नहीं हुआ है. So you know that whenever in the introductory session of attenuation I have told you, glass, when optical fiber, the glass is made, it is a structure of non-uniform things, molecules, which a network of molecules which is not very the structured नहीं होगा वो glass. Okay, because हम वो whenever we prepare this glass through the fabrication techniques, it gets into many processes, stages से गुजरेगा वो. So if you look into the structure, what will happen? So glass is what? It is a randomly connected network of molecules. एक definite structure, ये molecule के बाद यही होगा, वो structure नहीं होता है इसको. You know, because of पहले वो liquid में रहेगा, after cooling down to high temperature उसे molten state को लाके, then you will cool it, that is called annealing phase. So after that the glass gets solidified. You know about this. So that's why glass, it has it is very randomly connected network. It has a randomly connected network of molecules, right? So उसके जो compositional fluctuations होंगे, because definitely जब एक glass prepare होगा and after some time one more glass is prepared, you can't say that both the glasses which you have prepared after some times, at some time intervals, both are having the same structure. You cannot say that. So there will be some compositional fluctuations inside that. So while fabrication process, so this will result in more scattering, remember. Okay, so non-uniformities in the sense you have this haphazard structure. So this is present in the optical fiber. It will cause the change of path of light, because whenever the light propagates inside the optical fiber through the core material, core is made up of glass. If glass is not having uniformity, what will happen? Whenever it hits the interface, it should undergo total internal reflection. But otherwise, what will happen due to some non-linearities, some non-uniformities, the light will change its path. Okay, वो एक path से नहीं गुजरेगा जो expected है, it will not follow that path. Rather, what, it will change its path. So this will result in the mode change. Whenever it changes the path, you know already. So there will be number of modes. I hope you remember the structure. This is your core, this is your cladding. So whenever a path, the single mode and the multi-mode fibers we have seen, in single mode what will happen? a single ray of light will propagate through the core, that to very small diameter. If you remember, itna hi rehta hai. But when it comes to multi-mode fibers, you have seen whenever a ray of light enters here, it may propagate like this, or it may propagate something like this, or it may propagate like this. So this is the structure of a multi-mode. So whenever it changes its path, it will undergo a mode change from one mode to the other mode. Just that ये जो mode change होगा, it should be guided. अगर वो guided ना होके leaky या radiation mode होगा, then it causes scattering. Fine. And you know, there is certain condition for total internal reflection, right? And also we have seen that when we were into the concept of modes of planar waveguides. Under that we have seen this particular topic. When the incident angle changes, that theta, if you remember, we had taken like this array, and this wave vector, it was resolved into two components, beta z and beta x. If you remember, we had taken this, whatever this angle was there, that angle will decide the modes, number of modes. Please, if you don't remember, just turn the pages and check out, turn this notes, it's in your mobiles. So turn those and go to that slide and check when we were dealing with the modes of the planar waveguides. At the end, I have given some notes about TE, TEM, and TM modes. There I have formulated one point there, a statement. Incident angle will decide the mode. Okay, so because the path of the light is changing again and again because of the non-uniformities present in the glass fiber, because of the change in the path, the incident angle will also change. Because angle is changing, mode will change. Okay, because this mode is changing, and if it is not a guided mode, okay, if it is not a guided mode, if it is a leaky and radiated mode, then it causes attenuation. Fine. Now, what will happen if the mode changes? So mode change or the mode transfer, it will result into, it may sometimes, it may happen that it is not guided, it may be leaky or radiated. Fine. So isse kya hoga? There will be a loss of power when it goes to leaky or radiation mode. A core region mein aapka field concentrated nahi rahega. Because of that, you won't get the whatever the wave propagation will there, it will have certain energy or power, it will be lost, some amount will be lost, some information will be lost rather. This is about the relay scattering. I had just listed the points. Let's just look at this relay scattering one more time. It is a dominant intrinsic loss mechanism. We have already seen what is intrinsic loss mechanism in its purest form, silica in its purest form, when it has got certain the electronic absorption, UV region, or atomic absorption in IR region. So we have seen what happens, the valence electrons, how they change, they jump to the higher energy levels, and there is a loss. And also the second one also, when the photons they interact, SiO bonds. So that bonds, they will transfer the energy. The EM field energy will be transferred to the SiO bonds. So we have seen that intrinsic loss mechanism. So in intrinsic, this is a dominant intrinsic loss mechanism in the low absorption window. So what is this low absorption window? In the previous session, we have seen one graph depicting different scatterings. This, okay, here we have listed one statement here. There is a low absorption window over this range of wavelength 0.8 to 1.7. So if I say this is your wavelength, okay, and this is your attenuation, so 0.8 से लेके 1.7 ये जो range है, ये आपका लो अब्जॉर्प्शन रेंज है. मतलब यहाँ पर अगर आप इस वेवलेंथ पे आप ऑपरेट करोगे, if you are operating at this wavelength and you are transferring, you are propagating your light with this wavelength, you'll be having less attenuations, this whatever absorption, this will not, this will be less. That is your low absorption window. So we are now talking about the Rayleigh scattering. So Rayleigh scattering, it is one type of dominant intrinsic loss mechanism in the low absorption window between ultraviolet and IR absorption. Okay, so it results from inhomogeneities in the sense non-uniformities, okay, of random nature occurring on a small scale compared to the wavelength of the light. So जो भी optical fiber में non-uniformities होंगे, because of that too they are very random in nature. You cannot predict कि ये non-uniformities का structure भी ऐसे ही होगा, okay, कहाँ पे क्या airs gap होगा या फिर some molecules are binded, some molecules are very much free, so there is a gap, you know, bubble, there is a bubble while preparing the glass. You can't predict that inhomogeneities of random nature. They're occurring on a very small scale, okay, they are not too much, they are on a very small scale compared to the wavelength of the light that is propagating into the optical fiber. This is the major difference between Rayleigh scattering and Mie scattering. इन रेले स्कैटरिंग जो भी नॉन यूनिफॉर्मिटीज हैं स्ट्रक्चर में वो स्मॉल स्केल पे रहेंगे, दे आर वेरी स्मॉल अमाउंट इफ यू कंपेयर इट विद द वेवलेंथ, बट इन Mie scattering दे विल बी वेरी लार्ज, दे आर कंपेरेबल with the wavelength of the light. Now, why these non-uniformities occur inside the optical fiber? That is the question. First one, it may occur, this non-uniformities or inhomogeneities, what we call it technically, they occur inside the glass because of the refractive index fluctuations. Because of the refractive index fluctuations, it may happen. Why these fluctuations occur? Both core and the cladding, they don't have the same refractive indices. So while manufacturing, you manufacture a glass with certain composition of some oxides, some impurities, so that refractive index will be different for a core and a cladding. Okay, so if there is some fluctuations while preparing, while taking the composition for preparing a different refractive index, core and cladding, under such condition these inhomogeneities may occur, okay, non-uniformities may occur. And if it is the reason for inhomogeneities, the first one, that is refractive index fluctuation, you cannot control it, because once you fabricate the glass you cannot go for any change, you can't do anything, right? The second one is compositional variations. ये क्या होगा, this you can reduce this, because अगर आप composition में oxide ज्यादा कर रहे हैं या फिर कोई impurity है जो pentavalent है, anything, any impurity if you are adding, you can change vary the compositions, okay, ये material की compositions changing वो आपके हाथ में है before fabrication again. So you can just reduce these compositional variations by improving the fabrication. ये आपके हाथ में है, you can do this. But refractive index fluctuation, once you cannot control it, because after fabrication you can't do anything. But compositional variations you still do, because before that, this is the testing time. This you can control it to a certain extent. Rayleigh scattering, it is uniform in all directions, in the sense when a light is propagating like that, it may hit due to some non-uniformities, it may hit and it may change the path with certain angle in all the directions, even like this also. So uniformly it is distributed in all directions, it may be in all directions. But Mie scattering में क्या होगा, it will simply take forward path, it won't go like this. So that is the difference. Rayleigh scattering में it is uniform in all directions, but Mie scattering, it is only one direction. Then about Rayleigh scattering, it produces an attenuation proportional to 1 divided by lambda raised to 4. Important one, ये एक formula से लिया है, following the Rayleigh scattering formula. This is the formula, Rayleigh scattering. This is just for your information, I have written. Yeah, this is the formula for this. Alpha indicates actually the attenuation. Here it is Rayleigh scattering coefficient. Alpha indicates Rayleigh scattering coefficient. It is given by the formula 8 pi cube by 3 lambda raised to 4. So you can see there is a lambda raised to 4 term. So this Rayleigh scattering coefficient is inversely proportional to lambda raised to 4. That's what is given here. It produces an attenuation proportional to 1 by lambda raised to 4. And the formula is 8 pi cube by 3 lambda raised to 4, n raised to 8, p square, kb, tf, and this is actually beta into t, where lambda is your wavelength, operational wavelength, n is the refractive index, you know about it. So p, kt, tf, and b, these 4 terms are new to you. We will see what are these 4 points. So p is your photoelastic coefficient. Okay, this is one photoelastic coefficient. Then what is kb? You know about this probably. It's a Boltzmann constant. Somewhere I have listed it. Yeah, kb is the Boltzmann constant. Okay, this is important equation. Even though I have written this, but moreover, this is frequently used. That's why you concentrate on this. Then kb is the Boltzmann constant. Tf is the fictive temperature. So what is the fictive temperature? It is the temperature at which the fluctuations are frozen into a glass as it solidifies. Means whenever a glass undergoes certain stages of preparation, during the last steps, what will happen from the molten form, from the liquid state, after certain temperature, it will go for solidification, that is annealing, you call it. So T is that particular temperature where the changes, the fluctuations are frozen into the glass as it solidifies. जब वो solid हो जाएगा, so that temperature is fictive temperature. Here in bracket I have written T is the temperature at which glass can reach a state of, sorry, here it is missing, it is thermal equilibrium, means it will solidify, that we call it annealing. So Tf is the fictive temperature, Boltzmann's constant is Kb, P is the photoelastic coefficient, then beta T is the isothermal compressibility of the material, that is your optical fiber. Okay, so this you know what is isothermal means. Isothermal, which will have the thermal coefficient in the similar, in the it is same throughout the material. Beta indicates it is uniformity. You know, there is a uniformity in the structure. So this is the formula. Based on this formula, we have one problem also. Now, there is one more point I have written here. Not so important. Now, Rayleigh scattering coefficient, this left hand side, what I have written, alpha scattering. The equation, if you see, it is nothing but not alpha scattering, you better take it gamma r. This indicates your Rayleigh scattering coefficient. So this value, Rayleigh scattering coefficient, it is related to transmission loss factor. You know what do you mean by transmittivity? Transmittivity and what? One more thing, the efficiency, right? So transmittivity of the fiber, that is tau. Here tau indicates the transmittivity or the transmission loss factor. That tau is equal to e raised to minus gamma r into L, where L is the length of the fiber. इसको अगर आप logarithm लेंगे तो you will get it in 10 log. However, this transmittivity tau is equal to e to the power of minus gamma r into L. So Rayleigh scattering, it is how you can reduce this Rayleigh scattering. You can see Rayleigh scattering and gamma, they are inversely related. अगर आप lambda, both are inversely related. Gamma r and lambda are inversely related. So if you choose higher wavelength, denominator jitna zyada hoga, gamma r value will be less. So how you can reduce this Rayleigh scattering? it can be strongly reduced by operating at longest possible wavelength, lambda raised to 4. जितना lambda ज़्यादा होगा, wavelength ज़्यादा होगा, denominator will be more, so gamma r will be less. Now there is a problem here based on the Rayleigh scattering coefficient, gamma r. Silica has estimated fictive temperature, that is TF is given to you 1400 K. I have listed here, TF is given, with an isothermal compressibility. Isothermal compressibility is beta. Beta is given to you. Yes, it is given. Then the refractive index and the photoelastic coefficient are given 1.46, 0.286. N is given, refractive index, P is the photoelastic coefficient. Both are given. Determine the theoretical attenuation in dB per kilometer due to the fundamental Rayleigh scattering in silica at the wavelength of, यहाँ पर 3 wavelength दिए हैं, 0.63, 1 and 1.3 micrometers. All 3 are in micrometers. So for these 3 lambda values, we have to find attenuation. And Boltzmann constant is given here. So I've listed all the data first. Okay, Boltzmann constant, lambda is given to you. You have to calculate your scattering coefficient and alpha both. Okay. So we have the formula. Gamma r is equal to 8 pi cube by 3 lambda raised to 4, and all these values, wherein lambda it is given 3 times. That is 3 different values they have given you. So 3 times you have to repeat these steps. So I'll explain you the first one. What I will do, out of this complete formula, you can observe N, P, K, TF, beta, 8, pi, 3. All these values, you can calculate because all the number you know it. 8 pi cube by 3, you know. N is given, P is given, K is given, TF and beta is given. So what you do, you calculate all this number first. You calculate this numerical value that comes up to 1.895 into 10 raised to minus 28, except lambda raised to 4. Because 3 times when you go for calculation, only lambda is varying. All other same things are same. So why to repeat the things again and again? What you do, all the values you substitute except lambda by 4 and calculate what is gamma r. Okay. Then now first, what is the lambda value? First time it is 0.63 micrometer. So what I will do, first time I will put lambda as 0.63 micrometer raised to 4. Okay. This is 1 gamma r we calculated. Similarly, you can see at lambda is equal to 1, I have substituted 1 micrometer raised to 4. I have got one more value of scattering coefficient. Third time, lambda is 1.30. So for third time, substitute only the lambda. So the variation is only lambda. So ये numerator जो है वो same रहेगा तीनों के लिए. So for all the 3, gamma r you can calculate easily. Now coming to the attenuation, because the question is not only to find the scattering coefficient but also what, determine the attenuation. So आपको attenuation find करना है. For that, you have to first calculate a transmission loss factor tau. First you go for transmission factor calculation tau per kilometer चाहिए हमको, क्योंकि हमेशा जब हम attenuation calculate करते हैं dB per kilometer होगा. Even transmission loss factor will also be per kilometer. So what I will do, transmission loss factor tau is equal to e raised to minus gamma r into L. We know this formula. So I will substitute first time what value I have got, gamma r, that value into L is the length of the fiber. I am taking per kilometer, so 1 kilometer. So I will get e raised to this, you calculate, these two gets cancelled, e raised to minus 1.199. You will get around 0.301. Once tau is known to you, attenuation is equal to, this is the formula, 10 log to the base 10, 1 divided by tau. If you do this, reciprocal of the tau, if you go for this, in dB you want, so attenuation will be got. So transmission loss factor tau, if you calculate, take the attenuation as 10 log of 1 by tau. So if you get 10 log of 1 by 0.301, you get 5.2 dB. Similarly, second wavelength के लिए 1 micrometer, gamma r we know already. After that, transmission loss factor tau, e raised to minus gamma r into L. So this is gamma r into length, and raised to minus 4, I think you will get 0.827. After getting this value, we want attenuation. So attenuation के लिए क्या होगा? 10 log of 1 by tau. So 10 log of 1 by tau, I get 0.8. Similarly, for third lambda, we have already got what is gamma r. Take the transmission loss factor tau, e raised to minus gamma r into L. You will get 0.3936, and attenuation is 10 log of 1 by tau, which you get 0.3 dB. Now, there is one observation. Lambda value first जो 0.363 था, I got 5.3 dB attenuation. Okay. When I took lambda as 1, which is more, 0.6, then 1, then 1.3. For second lambda, observe attenuation is reduced, 0.8 हो गया है. Earlier it was 5.2. If you increase the lambda, it is 0.8. Now further, for lambda is equal to 1.3 micrometer और ज्यादा हो गया lambda, तो आपका attenuation 0.3 और कम हो गया. So that is the practical view. Rayleigh coefficient scattering, it can be reduced by increasing the lambda, increasing the longest, taking the longest possible wavelength. Okay. Hope you understood this problem. It is very simple. See, in this optical fiber communication, problems are very simple to look. But when it comes to all together remembering the formula, because all the problems are direct substitution kind of problems. Okay. Important thing is remembering the formula. So that is important. So better what you do starting from module 1, what all formulae you come across in each concept, start listing in a long sheet. It will be easy for you to remember. You know, once in a while, in a day, at for some 5 minutes, you can glance over those formulae. They'll be in your mind. It will be easy for you during examinations. Now coming to the Mie scattering. As I told you, a big difference between the Rayleigh scattering and the Mie scattering is, in Rayleigh scattering जो भी non uniformities या inhomogeneities हैं structure में, they are very small scale, on a small scale compared to the wavelength. But यहाँ पे Mie scattering में क्या होगा, जो non uniformities हैं, inhomogeneities in the optical fiber glass structure, they are very much comparable in size with the compared with the wavelength of the light which is propagating. That is one difference. And one more thing I told you, in Rayleigh scattering, whenever a light gets scattered, it is uniform in all directions. But in Mie scattering, it will follow one path. Mie scattering, it occurs mainly due to non-perfect cylindrical structure of the wavelength. In the sense what, you have a cylinder something like this, right? Optical fiber actually ऐसे होना चाहिए. Non-uniform means ऐसा कुछ होगा, something like this, or something like this, ऐसा कुछ होगा. There is no uniformity in the structure. So not perfect cylindrical structure of the waveguide. Or fiber imperfections. What are those fiber imperfections? It may be irregularities in the core cladding interface, as I just now I have drawn you. Optical fiber ऐसा कुछ होगा, something like this, or ऐसा कुछ होगा. Something like this. यहाँ पे ज्यादा है structure, यहाँ पे कम है. Something like this. Some irregularities. Okay. Irregularities in the core cladding interface, or core cladding refractive index differences. You know, जो N1 and N2 while preparing, while fabricating, it may change because of these, and even diameter fluctuations. Just now I have drawn you something like this. You can see there is a diameter change. So if there are diameter fluctuations, or even stains or bubbles while forming the glass, there may be air gap, the bubbles may be formed. So because of these irregularities and imperfections, Mie scattering may occur. Mie scattering is mainly in forward direction. As I told you, it won't be like this in backwards. It will only follow a forward path. that is knee scattering. Depending upon the fiber material design and the manufacture, this scattering, it can cause significant losses. Okay, and the last few points I have just listed. Knee scattering, it is in forward direction only. It is hologenetic. Hologenetic means जो भी non uniformities हैं structure में, they are bigger in size compared to the wavelength of the uh, signal which is propagating inside the fiber. That is, we call it hologenetic. And whenever, this is important, when inhomogeneity size हम जो बोल रहे हैं comparable है, if it is greater than lambda by 10, then जो भी scattered intensity होगा, it is very large. The intensity, the force with which they scatter, that is very large. वो कब? When you have lambda by 10, the whatever inhomogeneity size is there inside the structure, if it is more than lambda by 10. And some points I have listed here. The inhomogeneities, how we can reduce in knee scattering. One is removing the imperfections due to the glass manufacturing process. वो जब during manufacturing we can remove this from imperfections. How? By using very precise, highly refined, advanced techniques. Okay? Then carefully controlled extrusion and coating of the fiber. Then third one, increasing the fiber guidance by increasing the relative refractive index difference. That is delta value हम ज़्यादा करके. Now, what is extrusion? Controlled extrusion. Extrusion is a process of when you take core and cladding. When you fit these two together, they should fit exactly. That is extrusion. One example for extrusion. Extrusion is what? आप जब टूथपेस्ट का ये जो पेस्ट है वो आप ब्रश पे निकालने के लिए you extrude. Okay, so it will fit on that brush. Similarly, when you prepare vadas, okay, from वो जो उसका जो ये होगा mold होगा, उससे वो correct exactly बाहर same से निकलेगा.